Hello, everyone. This is Adam Parker, the founder of the Detox Blueprint program. Super excited. Got another client success story, and we have Sandy on the call today. I'm so excited about this conversation because Sandy was one of the first guys to go through the program as it is in the current format, and we recently caught up and reconnected, and really looking forward to Sandy sharing his story. So really, he was able to go from chronic fatigue and brain fog to now having consistent energy and that clear thinking that we all want. So he's joining us today from Australia to tell us his story. Sandy, welcome.
Hey, how you going, Adam? Good to chat to you again, buddy.
Sandy, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and where you come from.
I live down in Sydney, Australia. I've been here for 20 years. I've grown up in Australia. I actually grew up in Queensland, but I've lived in Sydney. I worked in the film and TV industry in the camera department for about 15 years now.
So obviously we've been working together a while. Let's take a step back before it all started. And obviously, I think you found me on Instagram. That's where most people find me. What was the big problem that you were dealing with before joining the program?
I went through a bit of a stage probably like 6 or 7 years ago where I was just having some gut issues. Nothing too serious, but it started to slowly get worse and worse the more I left it untreated. And that's the stage where you start to go to doctors and do blood tests and try different modalities, but sort of staying in that Western paradigm. You start to visit doctors and eventually you start to get told that you just have, you either had chronic fatigue syndrome or you have IBS, and that's it. And that's sort of like you get given some small management tools and then you go from there. But as I've always done, I've sort of looked further than that, and I started to find some other integrated doctors and naturopaths, and that's when you start to go down the road of saying, well, maybe it's a leaky gut, and you start to go on some gut healing protocols and also the words candida get thrown around and parasites and all that sort of thing. Because I've done a lot of traveling in my time. I spent a lot of time on jobs overseas in different third world countries. So, I mean, the whole thing of maybe you do have a parasite or you do have some kind of gut issue related to travel was always plausible. But I did go down that road for a few years. But as you try different protocols from that paradigm, you feel better and you feel okay, but it never seems to heal the issue.
I found it would you get marginal gains, and it was so much effort for like minimal kind of outcomes. And then as soon as you kind of took your foot off the gas, you go straight back. That was my experience, because it was like you throw, like I remember doing like a low FODMAP diet and I was throwing everything. It was such a kind of suffering and limitation, and then marginal gains, and then you stop it and then it's like, vroom, everything comes back. So yeah, I get it. And that's kind of where we will start, right? Because we know, okay, there's more than health than just going to the doctor. And there's this whole holistic realm of all these different things you could do. What you're saying rings true to me, because we can jump into it and actually see some improvements, but we still feel a little bit stuck.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, not to say that was the wrong path to go down, but it does open up. So like usually one thing leads you to another, and sort of you get to open Pandora's box and see, well, okay, the more inquisitive you are, the more you look for answers and try different things. You start to find more answers within that. So for me, I went down the road of TCM quite hard, like and discovering herbology and acupuncture was also actually a great asset, and still is and will be for the rest of my days for sure. But I guess that's when I kept looking, and I actually found you over Instagram, which was talking about a detox program that gets to the root cause, which I think that language you used was really key for me. And the fact that you were someone who has been through something as well and had managed to find the answers by trying different modalities. But in that you were able to create this blueprint, which is what I followed.
Well, here's the thing. I remember when we first spoke, you had an infrared sauna. I can see it behind you, just behind your shoulder. So
Still there?
Still there, man. And so again, like you were coming into this whole process. It wasn't your first rodeo. You were deep into the work. So what was it about this program? And obviously, thank you on the messaging. What was it about this program? Because I'm sure there were other solutions out there that you were looking at. What was it about the Detox Blueprint in particular resonated with you?
I mean, the first one was what I just said before, which was that you're coming from the kind of healing archetype that has been there before, the wounded healer archetype. For me, that's important, because I mean, when in the past, when you go to different naturopaths and you do go to different doctors, it feels like a lot of people are reading from textbooks, and they are just prescribing things or a supplement that may help. And you can sometimes spend quite a lot of money on different people, and they are prescribing something that they've never tried, but also something they actually may not even know that much about. So to talk to someone who's tried all these modalities and who's been through this and designed this program, obviously you're gonna get someone who has really been in the trenches and can speak from personal experience. And for me, that was pretty key.
Yeah, mate, I love that because you can apply that to all walks of life, man. Like whether you're getting a business mentor, I've got a personal trainer now, and I absolutely love it. And again, this guy knows his stuff because he's an absolute monster. I love it because they've lived the experience and they know exactly, and it's like the tiniest nuances in things that, again, I think you can only get through lived experience.
100%. Yeah, direct experience is really a beautiful thing. So to start your program, I knew I was going into something that's been tried and tested and has actually worked before.
Sandy, you were my first Australian client. That was back when I was taking all the sales calls. Now I have a great team who look after that, and you were like, let's go. And you were all in, and it was a pleasure working with you through the process. So what was your most valued part of the program? What do you love about the program in particular?
I mean, for me, it was because it was in video format for one. So it's very easy to follow. It comes in different modules that you can, like, first of all, I just looked through the whole program. I just spent a couple of days just going through every module, maybe taking some notes here or there. And then I went back again and just looked through it again. And it started from the start again, but then you really train your eye on each module and figure out how am I going to work all this into my life? Because obviously the key for it is to learn it, but then to actually bake it into your program. Like how do you juggle that with family, with work life, with social life? So that was probably the hardest part of the program for me, was to integrate that into my daily life. And I still have a lot of the protocol that's in my life now, but I find in the beginning you really have to get in and look through it all and figure out, okay, how can I integrate this?
For me, there's two sides of it. We have this accumulation of toxins, this congestion, and we need to get that down. But also we have to look at our habits and behaviors and external environment, because ultimately that has created the challenges that we've got. So then it's creating new habits and behaviors. So we talk about minerals and binders and all this other stuff. But actually, as you're doing the protocols, you're learning, because you're learning the skills of doing certain protocols, number one. So that's hard. But once you learn it, then it's like, how do I incorporate it into my routines? And then hopefully when people go through, most people I work with are like, cool, why would I not do this now? I've baked it in, it's a part of what I do, and I can see the value. And I think with anything, like you're saying, when you first see it, it's like, it's a lot. But as you get that momentum and things are improving, it's like, well, it kind of gives you the motivation to keep adding all the layers and keep doing the things, right? Because, you feel those improvements, you see those little kind of like glimmers, and then it's like, keep going. So yeah, it's the biggest part. I always say to people, you're here to improve your health. I'm here to teach you skills and new behaviors, because that's the long-term play. So, for me, I'm on maintenance mode. That's how I do it. There's never I've arrived, I'm healthy now. No, I'm the canary in the coal mine. So I'm on maintenance. I get it. It's like there's a lot there to start, but when you get into it and you bake it in, it becomes quite easy.
Yeah, I think you always tell me you really got to schedule it in, which is true. You put it in your schedule and you stick to it, and that's when you start to see some results.
So let's talk about the results. So what were the results since you implemented everything into the program? And you were a fantastic student doing that was required. So what were the results from going through the program?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the thing that really started to push me in a positive direction was the liver flushing. So actually starting to take control of your liver. There's a really interesting stat that goes around that most people are operating on 10% of their liver. I mean, for me, that's the biggest thing that started to really move the needle for me, I guess. And I mean, you've got everything so well laid out there, and how to start liver flushing and to start actually taking care of the liver, different supplements and different teas and all that sort of thing. So I think yeah, Right now, I'm in a really good place. I'm probably like 90% on the way. I've just finished my 20th liver flush, and I schedule one in every 2 weeks. So without fail, now every 2 weeks I'll bang out a good liver flush. And I mean, I even tried experimenting in that time. Like you can do them with grapefruit juice or lemon juice, or you can use apple cider vinegar rather than malic acid. But I did find for me like that the malic acid and the lemon juice was just the key. Was the way to do it. And also adding the gold coin grass was super important. It's a really, really powerful herb, that gold coin grass. I can't speak of it highly enough.
Liver flushing is really important. It's a big part of a multitude of different things, but actually it's having the tools to get the best type of flushing, because I see a lot of people who done a lot of flushes and they're like, oh no stones are coming out, it's done. It's like, no, you're not doing it correctly. And actually you have to have the tools to find the right combination of what works for you. And I love that, because you've been consistent and you've now found the sweet spot of all the, like you've figured out the algo on what specifically works for you. And it's different for everyone. And it's having the tools available to you to figure that out. Because once you're getting consistently good flushes, that's where, you really, improve very quickly. So it's great that you've been able to figure that out.
And it opened my eyes a lot to actually how important bile flow is in the body. Because I used to hear when your digestion's not working so well, you look at other people around you eating, and they've all got these iron guts. And I guess what is an iron gut? It's good stomach acid, it's good bile flow, it's your bacteria and yeast and fungus and all in their right ratios. And for me, sometimes you can think if you've got these digestive troubles and you're like, well, I just need to take more probiotics, or I need to take more different strains, or I need to take some other supplement which is going to do more digestive enzymes. But for me, I was doing all that and I still wasn't getting the movement. But when you start to realize that the liver is such a chief organ of the digestive system itself, that's when I really started to see some results. So yeah, just continuing on now, and each flush just gets me stronger and stronger, and I just feel my digestion just coming back online.
So how's your life personally changed since going through the programming and getting those results?
I mean, I've got my energy back. I can do a hard day's work for sure. And I've just got more thinking power. Like, I just don't have the brain fog that I used to have. I'm able to get up in the morning and really focus myself on work or family or whatever I've got going on that day, rather than always sort of just be battling your digestion and battling your mind, to stay focused, or to remember to do something, or to catch it, do some sort of task. But now I really feel like I really have a lot more control back, just because with a stronger digestion, your brain just functions so much better. Like you just feel a lot more normal and a lot more stable.
And also people don't realize how much having those issues, it detracts, like it pulls energy away from the things you want to focus on. So now you can give 100% to your family or your work. But before you were, I'll just make up percentages there, you might be able to only give 70% because the other 30 is on just trying to prop yourself up or, not feel bad. So, there's a huge multiplier effect when you figure that stuff out, and you can just put all your energy into what you want.
100%. But I mean that even the rest of your program, it all complements that as well. So I mean, now once you start seeing the results in one area, you can start to go back and go, well, okay, the program's still there. So let's start to work on something else, whether that be something that's psychosomatic, start working on some trapped emotions, or even maybe you haven't been quite consistent with coffee enemas. So it's like, let's get that back happening again. So there's so many parts of the program which all work together, and the way you have it in the program, you can always go back and you can always learn again and try again and to bring consistency into that area. So I think that's been one of the great things about having a program in this format, is that it's always there, and you can relearn something,
Absolutely, man. Thank you. And here's the deal, like everything in that program is an accumulation of 10 years of knowledge, right? So it was what got me better, and then I've just continued to add stuff. So absolutely, it takes time, and you can go back and read it. It's similar to, you know, like you read a book and it's like, it's a great book. And then you go back and read it again. And, oh yeah. And you see it a bit different and you've highlighted certain things. It's similar to that. You can go back and sometimes you weren't ready to hear a certain message. And then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, let's jump into that. So absolutely, man. And that's the joy of having any bit of content. You can go back and rediscover it and re-implement. Honestly, man, I'm constantly relearning lessons as well. So yeah, that's a great observation.
The other thing is that the fact that you have the podcast alongside it, it really helps to, it's just another avenue of learning. Without the knowledge, you don't have the power to put anything into practice. So I think the podcast has been a bit of a genius idea, which goes alongside the program and complements it in a really, really, really nice way. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Yeah. And I guess another one of my passions. And for anyone who isn't familiar with the podcast, it's called the Ideal Day Podcast. And essentially it's kind of, you know, for me, it's encompassing what is wellness, right? So I talk about detox, I talk about mindset, I talk about quantum, I talk about everything that really is about making us a better individual. So we can be better people for our friends and our family. So thank you. I love that, man. And it's lovely because I get to speak to some really cool people and find new ideas and all that sort of stuff to, you know, eventually implement into the program if it sticks for me. So where would you be today if you hadn't pulled the trigger and joined the program?
I mean, I'd still be probably looking for answers. I mean, I guess finding something like this, which is in such a neat little package, has been a really big plus. I'm not sure where I'd still be probably crutching on 20 different supplements, still taking, you know, 15 digestive enzymes a day, different probiotics, different, you know, apple cider before every meal. You know, really trying to coach that digestion. But as you start, now that I've started to get the liver back online, it's starting to self-automate once again. So I'm not quite sure where I'd be, but I'd still be looking for answers because, I mean, anyone out there who is struggling, I think you have to keep looking. You find, I guess the beauty of the podcast era is that you can find information like this. You can listen to it in half an hour and you can get a whole lot of information that you would never have got, you know, in such a short amount of time. So, I mean, to anyone out there who's still trying to look and find answers, I think podcasts like this are a really good resource. You could really figure out a lot of things if you're willing to listen and willing to put some things into practice.
I love that commentary on the pod. It's been my passion for, man, kind of 7 years, man. Long time. It's been great. Okay, so imagine someone's watching this video on YouTube and they're on the fence. They're probably dived into my ecosystem of podcasting, Instagram, and they're not sure whether to have a conversation with my sales team. What would you say to them?
Yeah, look, if someone's looking to take their detox to the next level, this program's definitely for them. As I said before, the way it's structured is really easy. You can go through it at your own pace. It doesn't force you to do all protocols at once or too many protocols at once. You get to go in stages and bring things in and try them, because it can be daunting, you know, like if you are new to this kind of healing. A lot of people come from the Western medicine paradigm, and a lot of their medicine has been given to them in pill form before. So this kind of medicine that you're showing or teaching is something that you self-administer, and you have to keep up like a bit of a ritual, but the results just speak for themselves. So anyone out there who is struggling, I think, and has been struggling for a while and hasn't had any answers, you need to start to realize that we do live in such a toxic environment in the modern day world, and that there is protocols out there that you can start to release a lot of this stuff out of your body, and you can start to get your body to work in a self-automated way, the way it was designed to work.
Sandy, man, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate, having you on this platform to chat and share your experience. And I appreciate and appreciate you taking that leap all those probably over a year ago now. And it's great to see, you know, the strides you've made, mate. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries, brother. It's been great to chat.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you to Sandy for letting me interview him. So if you're watching right now and you're interested in working with us and our team on detoxifying your body and getting back to the health that you know you deserve, feel free to book a call. The link is in the description, and you can book a call with my sales team. On that call, we'll work out what your goal is, what's holding you back, finding and achieving that goal, and getting clear on how to move forward. So if something resonates from this conversation, book the call now. and let's have that conversation. Thanks again, and talk soon.